Hello everyone, this is for SolidWorks class once again, and now we are going to show you the tutorial of how to make this part. So this part is chapter 7 tutorial 1. Okay, chapter 7 tutorial 1, and we are going to use SolidWorks to make this part. And so we have the front view, the top view, and the right side view of the part. And also the book gave us the step-by-step tutorial, and we are going to follow this tutorial. And first of all, it says create the rectangle of the 69 times 45 and also extrude it with the depth 10. So let's go ahead and create that. And it says create on the right plane. So we're going to create on the right plane. So let's go to SolidWorks and create new and a new part. And let's check the units. Look right to me. Then I go to sketch and select the sketch, and the book says create on the right plane. Then we are going to select the right plane and create a rectangle. So I go to a rectangle here. I probably select the center rectangle and select the center and put the rectangle here, and the dimension it says 69 times 45, so put a 69 and 45 as the height. And then I'm going to extrude this part. So I go to features and do extrude it. Then extrude the part, it says 10 millimeters. Okay, 10 millimeters. So since the slide, so as you can see, the origin is here. Okay, it's here. So I am going to extrude in one direction only. Okay, in one direction only. So I keep this. Then I say OK for the part. Then I'm down for the extrusion. And now I'm going to go ahead and save the work often. So I do save. And this is chapter 8, tutorial 1. So I save in this way and say yes. Now let's see what we are gonna do next. So it says, so flip the part to the other side. Okay, to the other side, we are going to draw this part. Okay, we are going to draw this part. Okay, so first of all, so with all the dimensions here. Okay, so first of all, let's go back to SolidWorks, and once again we're going to draw on this part. Okay, because the part is looking like this. Okay, looking like this. So we are going to draw the sketch on the other side, then extrude it. Okay, so let's go back here and flip to this side. Okay, this side, and give a good view first, so it's easier for us to see it. So probably, no, this is a vertical. Let's try this. No, okay, so let's rotate a little bit. And this is backwards. Okay, try this. Then, okay, this is good. Let's double check if this is should be the back view. Yes, this is a back view, so this is good. And now we are going to create another sketch on this surface. So we go to sketch and click sketch and select a surface. So we are going to select this as our surface. The origin is there, which is good, same as what the slide is showing us. Okay, which is good. Then we make the sketch. So first of all, we are going to use line and make the part a little bit smaller and draw the contour of the part, and we will dimension it later. So go up, make sure the straight relations are showing up. Also close the shape, otherwise we can't extrude later. Okay, So, okay, the circle is showing up. I don't like that, so I go exit, and I connect those two, and say okay. And the next thing, we are going to dimension the whole part. Okay, so it says this dimension is 10 and 98 and 75 as overall. So let's put them there. So dimension here says 10. So I put a 10 here. And from the top, but the bottom to the top, it says 75. So I put a 75 there. And the length is supposed to be 98. So the shape is changed a little bit. So I say yes here first. And fix this. So this is still blue. So I could drag them up. Okay, so let's drag the line up. So this looks better to us. And let's keep dimensioning. So smart dimension. So from this line to the edge here is supposed to be 98. So I put a 98 there. And there's still one more blue line. So the reason is we have not given the thickness of this part yet. Okay, so let's take a look at the drawing, see if they give us. So actually they don't. So this says this part is 10. So I assume this distance is 10 as well. So let's put a 10 there. So go to SolidWorks, Smart Dimension. So click this tool, says it's 10. Then say OK. So they are all black right now. Then we're in a good shape. Also it's dark, so we could extrude the part. Okay, so it has a traffic lights here. Okay, so you need to save it often. Okay, after you save, then it's disappeared. Okay, and as the next, we are going to extrude this part. Okay, extrude this part. Now let's find out the thickness of that part. So if we go back to the previous slide, so the diameter of the circle is 38. So the thickness of this part is going to be 38 as well. We go back to SolidWorks and select the sketch first. Then go to features and do extruded boss or base. And the distance, as you can see, is in the wrong direction. So we flip it over and give a distance says 38. And say OK. Oh, I put one more 0 there. 38. Say OK. And click yes. Then I finished this step. As the next, I am going to add a circle down there. Okay, add a circle here. So I am going to select this surface. Okay, and draw a circle on there. So I go back to SolidWorks and go back to Sketch and click Sketch, and it will ask me a question. Select a plane. So I select this surface here and make a circle on it. So the circle looks to me, so the center is on the line, okay, and recognize the center line, well, the center point, which is good. I draw a circle, drop it down here, and I need to dimension it. So the dimension, oh, it's already recognized automatically. So the center and the intersection point, so I don't need to dimension anymore. It's still a minus sign here, so after we save, it should go away automatically. Yep, it went away. And now we are going to extrude this part. Okay, and now we need to find the thickness of the part. So let's go back to slides and take a look at the front view. So at the front, so this is a 12 on each side. Okay, so no, actually 12 on one side and another 13 on the other side. Okay, so we are going to do extrusion in both directions. Okay, 12 on one side and 13 on the other side. Okay, and the top here, this is actually the rib. Okay, it's actually the rib here. Okay, so we're going to worry about it later. So 12 on one direction, 13 on the other direction. So we go here, and we go. So first of all, select the sketch. So SolidWorks does not ask you a question later, and you select the extruded boss, and we are going to do in two directions. The first direction, it says 12, so I put a 12 there. And the second direction, so I check the direction tool and do 13 for the other direction. And this is look right to me, then I say okay. Then this is what I have so far. Then save the work often. Then let's go back to the slides, see what we're gonna do for the next. So next one, it says create holes. Okay, also use a circular pattern for the rest of the holes. So technically it says create thus holes, also thus hole, the circular pattern. Then the sixth step, it says make a thus hole. Okay, so we are going to make all these holes, use hole wizard. So first of all, let's create a thus hole. So we go to hole wizard, and it's a simple hole, so make sure you check the third one, the hole wizard, the simple hole, and asymmetric, look right to me. And let's look at the diameter of the part. So for the center hole, it says diameter is 16, and for the small one, it says its diameter is 4. And for the circular, it says 25. Okay, 25. So these are the dimensions that we need. Then let's go back to SolidWorks, create the hole first. So I probably want to go to right view first. Okay, the right view first. So this is the right side view. And I put a holes there. So the holes, they're supposed to be let me see, it's 16 or 18. Yeah, it's 16. So we put a 16 as the size, see if we have that. Yeah, we do have that. So we select the 16, and the nominal holes do through all. Well, I'm not quite sure. So for safety, I'd better do up to next. Okay, do. Oh no, up to the surface. I'm going to select the surface. Okay, up to next, it might stop here. Okay, so I'm going to do up to the surface, and it will ask me to select a surface. So I select this surface as my surface, and I'm going to the positions tab. Okay, positions tab. And will ask me to select a surface, and once again, don't select a 3D sketch because it's going to be complicated. So just select the front surface. This is the surface that we are going to place the hole. And after this, I select the center of the hole, see if it recognizes the center of the circle. So let me switch to the front, to the right plane first. Yeah, it recognized the hole. The next step is dimension the hole. Okay, so I go to smart dimensioning. So the hole is actually already there. It's already black because I gave the diameter as well as the position. So I do not need to dimension anymore. It's already black. So I say okay. And save my work often. And as the next, we are going to create all those small holes. So I am going to create this one, then use a pattern. Okay, use a circular pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and create this hole with the diameter 4, and the radius, which is the position, is going to be 12.5. So half of 25. So I go back here. And it should be still under the sketch. Okay, I'm going to start a new sketch then. So I select the sketch, and will ask me a plan, so I select this plan one more time, and I go to hole with. Okay, we're trying to create a hole, so we don't need this sketch anymore. So we go out. So we are creating the hole. So we go to hole wizard once again. So select the third one. It's a simple hole. Then the diameter. Let's go back the slide, look at the diameter. So it's 4. So the diameter of the holes are supposed to be 4 and up to the surface. Okay, up to the surface. So let's select the surface, the back surface one more time, and go to the position tab. And we ask us the surface, so we select the front surface as our surface and put a hole there. And now we need to dimension the hole. Okay, so we draw some center lines. So we could put a degrees there. And when you put a center line, make sure the vertical relations, the horizontal relation is showing up. And I would need another center line. So from the center to the center of the circle. So I could put a dimension, put angles on between them. So the angle between them is 45 degrees. So 45 degrees. And now I need to give a radius between the point to this point. So I still in smart dimensions. So I give a distance between those. It says half of 25, so I do 25 divided by 2. This is the distance. After this, the hole is black. Okay, it's black, so I'm outside. So I click OK. So just double check the hole. They're all fully defined. And the next thing, I'm going to use a linear pattern. So I click the circular pattern here and make a pattern of this hole. So the feature that I want to do the pattern is apparently is going to be the hole. So I select the body of the hole, so not the circle, okay, of the body of the hole. And for the direction, okay, so I want to rotate based on this circle. Okay, so this is a direction that I want to rotate. Okay, so in the direction box, I'm going to select the body of the center hole. Okay, the body of the center hole. And I'm going to check the equal spacing. Okay, equal spacing, and make the number. So it's actually 6 of them. So I put a 6 as the number. And also I show the full preview instead of a partial. I check the full preview. So this is the hole. Look right to me. I say OK. So I made all these holes. Okay. In the next step, we are going to make the hole right here. So if we go back to the slides, we are going to make this hole. Okay. So we need diameter, which is 16, and the height 18, and the position for the X is 22. And let's go back to SolidWorks and make it on the right plane so we can see it better. So it's the right plane, and make a hole. So we are going to use hole wizard one more time. Hole wizard, and a simple hole. The diameter of that is going to be 16. So let's see if we have 16 here. Yeah, we do have 16. So we'll select a 16, and in this time we probably can just use through all, right? Can just use through all, but we'll just do up to surface this time once again. So we select the surface. This is our surface, and we do a position tab, and will ask us to select the surface. So we'll select the surface. Okay, the front one, the surface. Then we put a hole there. And now we need to dimension the hole. So go to smart dimension. So from the center to the top. is going to be 18. And from the center to the edge is going to be 22. And now the hole is black, it's fully defined, so we say yes. And the hole is there, and double check if they're fully defined, which they are. Then we are good for that, for this step as well. And save your work often, don't forget about that. And now let's go to the slide, see what's gonna do next. So we finished all those holes. In the next part, we are going to add fillets. Okay, so as you can see, we are supposed to have a fillet here. Okay, also a fillet so at the top and at the bottom. Okay, so remember when we created this part, we created the side and extruded that. Okay, and also I said before, when we do the fillets, if we could create on the sketch, then we do not leave it on the part, because when you are in the part, it's going to be a 3D modeling. Sometimes the fillets will crash, so we don't want to do that. So you could just add the fillets, the top and the bottom here, but I would recommend you go back to the sketch and add the sketch there. Okay, so let's go back to SolidWorks. So the fillets dimension, let's take a look. So the dimension, the bottom one, it's R5, and the top one is R15. Okay, which is this. The top one, once again, that's the rib. Okay, we don't worry about that so far. So the bottom one is 5, the top one is 15. So like I said, you could just make a fillet, okay, by using this. Just do a fillet, okay, and select the top edge and make that. But instead of doing that, we're going to go back to the sketch. Okay, so I think it's this one. Let's take a look. Yes, that's this one. And I click sketch, okay, and go into the sketch. Okay, so this is the sketch. Now I probably want it to switch to the right plane so I can see it better. So I go to the back plane. Okay, I'm going to put the fillets here. So I go to fillet and select those two edges and ask the radius. And the radius of that is going to be 5. So I put 5 in there, say OK, and say OK for this fillet. And go to fillet one more time and select one more time, select this tool. In the fillet, it says 15, so I put 15 there as the fillet's there. After that, I say yes, and say yes to the fillet. So as you can see, I will need to rebuild the part because I changed I made a modification on the sketch. So the part, so the entire model needs to be rebuilt. So I save that. So it asks me rebuild, and I say yes. So I get the part rebuilt, and as you can see, the fillets, they're there. Okay, so after this, we completed the fillets. Now let's take a look at the next step. So the next step, we are going to create the rib. Okay, create the rib here. Okay, so in order to do that, we probably want to create another surface. Okay, create another reference surface. So let's take a look if there is a better surface that we can create. So if you look at here, this is actually the center of the circle. Okay, so I probably want to create a surface from here instead of from the right, because it's not the center of the rib. Sometimes the rib won't be created because this is a cylindrical surface. So in this case, the best surface is the center of the cylindrical part. So it's extended in both sides. It won't have conflictions. So we are going to go ahead and create a surface there. So the distance is going to be 14 plus 5, which is half of 10, so it's 19 from the back surface. So let's go back to SolidWorks and do a reference plan. So I am going to select the back one as the reference, and the distance it's 19, and look at the direction, it's in the wrong direction, so I flip the offside. That's my plan. And then I am going to make a sketch on that. So before that, I am going to do a back view on the back plan. Then I am going to draw the sketch like this. Okay, the sketch like this. That's 10 and 10, and the radius is 25. Okay, so for this part, you could do fillets. Okay, so do 2 lines and make a fillets, but sometimes when you create ribs, that will fail. So we are going to just draw a circle that is tangent for both and trim them off. Okay, so fillets should be the same, but I don't know, sometimes it won't work. So anyway, we go back to SolidWorks and go to sketch and ask us to do a sketch, and it's going to be on plan 3, and we draw a line. So from here to there, then go down, make sure they're connected with the circle here, okay, with the cylindrical part here. And we're going to put the dimensions. So both dimensions is 10. Okay, so 10 for the top and 10 on the side. And we're going to make a circle here. So like I said, it could be a fillet, but sometimes it fails. So we are just going to do a circle. So the center of the circle should be this, which is a cylindrical, concentric. So it's pick this circle and recognize the tangent relation. Let's say OK. So the circle is black because the circle is concentric and the tangent. Then we're going to trim off the part that we don't need. So take out those 2 parts, also this half of the circle, and say OK. So for the rib, we only need to create those 2 parts. We do not need the closed shape. Okay, so you don't want to close out this shape. Just the contour, the outer circle is good enough for the rib. Okay, so now it has the traffic lights here. Let's save the work often. Okay, and the next step, we are going to go to rib. Okay, create the rib here, and let's look at the siding. So right now you could go check this. So this is only on the right and only on the left, but we want to in the center, and also the directions. So this one is going to that way. So if you look at the side, it's actually going out. This is not what we are looking for. So this one probably good. Okay, so but the arrow is in the wrong direction. Okay, so we will probably want to flip it down. Okay, because the rib is going down here. Okay, and look good to me. Say okay. Then this is the rib. Okay, this is the rib of the part. Then save the work often. Then we don't want to see the plan 3 anymore, so we could hide that. So right click the plan 3 and hide that. And let's see what we're gonna do next. So we are going to create those 2 fillets. Okay, 2 fillets here, one here, another here. So if we look at us, so it doesn't have one there, so we are going to create those 2 fillets. So we are going to go to fillet, okay, and do fillet. So we have 2 of them. So this one is the common one, and also we could use this. So the difference of this is right now we are trying to add materials there. Okay, so let's see if we create a fillets here, so the fillets will be here, and we cut out the material. Okay, and the fillets here, we're going to add material. Okay, so we're going to do the fillets like here, then we're going to add materials in the center. Okay, so in this case, we'd better use the third one. Okay, the third one could do the cut off as well, cut out the material. Okay, but if you're adding material, so don't use the first one because most of the time it's not gonna work. So use the third one. Okay, and select the two surface. So the first surface was select the top of the rib, and let's go to the second one. Click the second face, and we'll select this surface. Okay, this surface here. And now we are going to give a radius. Let's go back and take a look at the radius. It's 20, okay, R20. So we go here and go to 20, change it to 20, and say OK, and say OK. And we got a fillet there. And similar thing, we're going to create a fillet here. And once again, it's adding material, okay, adding material. So fillet. Click fillet, and we are adding material, so select this one as well, and this is the first surface, and go to the second surface, select this surface, and adding material. Let's look at the radius. It's 31, okay, 31. So we go back, put a 31, and say OK, and this is the fillet. And after that, we will be outside for this part. And you can go ahead and give me a good view. Okay, change a good view. And put in a good view and save the work. And that's all we have for this part. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.